podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingsvoice.com. All the guys want, I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
Gennady Golovkin production
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it. Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. Boxingsvoice.com to get to where I got to. Boxingsvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio spontaneous show. So if you're happy that we came here, hit that thumbs up button and let us know. The more thumbs up, basically lets us know that you like that we're doing these spontaneous shows. So we're doing an immediate rematch breaking news show because the WBC has ordered an immediate rematch for Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Triple G Golovkin to take place. So I want to bounce this topic off the minds of my co-hosts, both in the Garden State and in the Golden State, because what does this really mean? WBC told Gennady Golovkin about 3 years ago he was going to get a shot at that title, and that didn't mean much then. What does it mean now? No one can make Canelo rematch Triple G, in my opinion, but we'll bounce that off the co-host. So let me head on out to the Golden State.
Gennady Golovkin production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
Boxingsvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
Boxingsvoice.com.
Before we get to anything, I just want to say everyone here at TBV and in the boxing community, just want to say our prayers and condolences to everyone in Vegas with what happened last night. Hopefully this is a little bit of an escape for everyone listening and for us included from the news that we woke up to this morning. Just a tragic event in this nation. So just want to at least make note of that. I think it's only right, and just prayers and condolences to the victims. And hopefully we have a good show, and we chop it up with obviously the panel and tons of callers.
Yeah, Saul Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. We knew this was going to happen, you know. So let's get into the topic.
So you just decided to do that, huh?
Well, you're messing with sick Doomy right now. So
you just decided to just.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and most vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dippy. There's no one like me. I'm from there.
I mean, the people could have heard that, but you jumped the gun. That's what you did. You know, you hadn't let Dollar DiBiase's production truly flourish. But welcome back, gentlemen. As Matt said, you know, definitely prayers are in Las Vegas. It is quite startling to me. I keep missing these tragedies. You know, I was in Puerto Rico right when Irma hit and made it out quick enough before the bigger ones came through to leave Puerto Rico with no power. And we were just in Vegas 2 weeks ago for the Canelo Triple G fight, and now look what happens there. So like Matt said, hopefully this can, you know, bring some escape. And according to the news, The only guy that can't escape is Canelo Alvarez. But I've already given kind of my soft opinion on this, Matt. So, I'm going to just bounce it over to you.
First off, I think we all want the instant rematch. I think none of us are disagreeing about that point. However, the WBC ordering this rematch potentially, I know there is a report of them saying that there's a meeting with Jermall Charlo's team on Wednesday in which he is the mandatory at this time to the WBC title that Triple G holds. They're going to deal with that situation. To me, that sounds like they're obviously going to tell him, hey, you're not getting the fight next. However, we do know that the WBC has at this point, to put it mildly, rough relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has at numerous times shitted on them, at numerous times said that he doesn't want to fight for their belt at all anymore. So I don't know if them ordering this rematch has any effect on Canelo, because Canelo in the recent, I would say, year and a half has done nothing but give the metaphorical bird to the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this order has really any real ramifications to the fight happening. Doomsday, do you want to give your thoughts on it?
I mean, I read the article once, and I mean, you mentioned that he hasn't had a good relationship with WBC in the past, but I mean, this is what they wanted. It was in their contract clause too. So, I mean,
yeah, but the rematch clause was only for in case Triple G won. He didn't win, so there's
yeah. But finishing up the statement I was trying to make, even though it was in the contract, it was mostly because it was such a close fight, and because that's what looks like it's the best move to make. Get the immediate rematch between these two fighters. And from what I'm read, I guess they'll be facing some of the super middleweights or the middleweights at the from the Super Series tournament. Is that what's going to happen?
No.
No, yeah, I didn't read anything about that. I think if you want to be optimistic, you can go, well, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy have made numerous calls to Tom Lawfer and K2 saying they want the rematch. Now we have the sanctioning body saying they want the rematch. It seems all parties involved are going towards the rematch. That's being very optimistic and saying it's looking like we're going to get that in Cinco de Mayo weekend of 2018.
Yeah, and I think it'll happen just because Canelo already said that he's going to fight in May. It's up to Gennady not to take any fights in between, or up to Lawfer to negotiate an allowance to allow Gennady to actually fight. If he is going to fight, it would be nice to see him face his mandatory. I know you said the WBC is going to have a meeting on Wednesday to discuss the Charlo situation, which obviously now is on the back burner. But could you imagine if it's not? But if you're Canelo, I think you tell your promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, to let Tom Lawfer know for Triple G not to fight. He's looking a bit vulnerable in my eyes. I think a guy like Jermall Charlo can go in there and upset the apple cart if Canelo doesn't sign a dotted line and Triple G's allowed to go out there and fight. I mean, it just, it's pretty dangerous, no?
I think if they weren't going to allow Triple G to fight Billy Joe Saunders, a guy who really has no power but yet is a really good boxer, why would they let Triple G fight Charlo, who is also a great boxer and a hard hitter? Like, that makes zero sense if I'm Golden Boy to allow that to happen. In a sense, Golden Boy is the one in control of this entire rematch. Like, yes, Tom Lawfer has to be involved because he's the, promoter of Triple G, but it is Oscar. It is mainly Canelo. I mean, at this point, I really do think Canelo is bigger than Golden Boy at this point in time. You can make that argument. And I really wouldn't.
Canelo is Golden Boy according to the financials.
But he definitely is. He's, at least 90% of their revenue is based off of Canelo. So I'm not surprised at all that at this point Canelo can say what he wants and do what he wants with that company and with Oscar and what he wants to do with his career. And at this point, he already fought Triple G. Like, what would be the point in taking a fight in the interim? Like, you already fought him. And in his mind, and let's be honest, a lot of people's mind, he won. And I can see the argument for him winning, even though I did not score it for him. I can definitely see the argument for him winning. So if I'm Canelo, I can go on the tape and say, I can do this, I can do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to beat him. So let's get that immediate rematch. Let's get it while it's fresh in the public because it made money. Whether it's 1.3 million pay-per-view buys or 2 million, it made money. So they're definitely going to do it again. And let's be honest, it's one of those things where because it's a draw, they could do this fight 4 times. And they could definitely sell it. We're going to get this fight periodically after this instant rematch, potentially for the next few years. That will happen.
Well, it does depend on the, I guess,
the fights happen, of course, like how the rematch happens.
Yeah.
But if it's Pacquiao Marquez, where they're all very close, tight decisions, I can absolutely see a saga of fights here between these two gentlemen.
And again, I mean, it only serves Canelo, right? Because Triple G just keeps getting older. If they keep having these fights, Canelo gets better. Triple G gets older. I mean, not to say that he can't get better because he's going to get comfortable with the opponent. So you're right. This has the potential to be more. I wonder if they're looking at it that way in terms of business.
It's going to be interesting because Canelo at this point could just be a bona fide star where he never dips below 300,000, 400,000 pay-per-view buys. Where, he is that Mayweather Pacquiao where he can make $1 million, he can make 900, 800,000 pay-per-view buys relatively easily. And right now the middleweight division's hot. It really is. There's a lot happening in the top 8, I would say, top 10.
But does he have another Triple G that'll take him to 1.3, even 2 million? I mean, maybe you already set the blueprint for them. Maybe they need to continue to do this because who else is a pay-per-view star at 160?
I think it's not necessarily a pay-per-view star at 160 because remember, Triple G wasn't a pay-per-view star at 160, but yet he was able to do 1.3 with Triple G. It's the combination of a fight and how you can sell it, right? I think David Lemieux could sell very well. Again, not saying it's $1 million, but I can see 800. I can see 700 easily. So I think David Lemieux.
Triple G already beaten Lemieux. I don't think that the public will gobble that one up as much as you think.
I think they will. I think David Lemieux has looked nothing but great since that fight with Triple G, and even then he didn't look that bad with Triple G. Yes, he got outboxed, but
he mentioned he wanted
at that point he was I would say the best guy in that run in terms of dealing with Triple G.
Yeah, but if you're the casual fan and Canelo beats Gennady, why do you think Lemieux beats him if he already beat Gennady, the guy that beat Lemieux? You know what I mean?
No,
I know that
we're talking about an interim fight, right? Where it's based off this draw. So if Canelo doesn't fight Triple G, he can easily go make.
Oh no, he's not fighting till May.
I understand that, but I'm saying if Canelo was to fight on May and it's not Triple G, he's still going to make a lot of money off of pay-per-view buys. David Lemieux, Daniel Jacobs, you can name a lot of people in that middleweight division, and he could do money.
And right now, the Lemieux fight is hot. I don't think you could do the Lemieux fight after Canelo. If Canelo beats Golovkin, I don't think you can do it after. But if you do it now, there's still that what if. Can he knock out this guy? Can this guy knock him out? Is he going to do as good as Triple G? But if he beats Triple G, then a lot of that public just says, nah, he could beat Lemieux too. He beat Triple G. You know what I mean? So you're right and you're wrong. And maybe they need to do it before.
What about like a Daniel Jacobs, especially with Eddie Hearn now on that side? I can definitely see that fight being promoted correctly and it doing big numbers.
Yeah, but I'm sure Canelo's going to stay away from Jacobs.
Billy Joe Saunders?
He'll take that. It's a tough fight, though, because Billy Joe's a good boxer.
Jermall Charlo can easily be built up into a pay-per-view event with Canelo.
Not this year.
I didn't say this year.
Exactly. He needs to be built up.
But again, he can face other guys this year that is not named Triple G and still do over 600, 700,000 pay-per-view buys.
Who could Charlo fight this year? 2 names Charlo could fight to raise his profile.
Like by the end of 2017 or 2018?
Yeah, 2018. I mean, I guess he's got enough time. It's only fucking October, November, December, right? We got one more month. Maybe he could squeeze one in. But, I mean, again, Being a mandatory, these guys like to sit and wait. They don't want to lose that position.
I don't know. I mean, again, there's a lot of guys where he could face him, and I just don't know if they happen. I don't know if he faces a David Lemieux, Daniel Jacobs, Willie Monroe Jr., Billy Joe Saunders. I don't know if he faces those guys in 2018. I don't know if those fights happen. If they do, I'm happy, and those are big fights. Those are fights that can propel him to a Canelo easily. I think a Martin Murray could help at least. The winner of Hassan Nadam, Rayo de Moreda makes some sense. I know Andy Lee is sort of doing.
Who are you talking about, bro? Who's supposed to fight these guys? Did you name?
Charlo. Charlo, right?
Oh, Charlo fighting Hassan Nadam. That's doable. I don't know if it raises profile though.
No, but again, there's not a lot of fights that get you from like the from rankings
0 to 100 real quick.
What was that?
A cheap Drake plug, 0 to 100 real quick.
I don't think there's anyone from the 7 to 15 rankings that can propel you to stardom. There's no one in the middleweight division that's that. Like a Centennial Jr., Andy Lee, Sam Solomon, Luis Aries, like those guys won't propel you to stardom, but they're going to get you towards a title fight against a Lemieux, against a Saunders, against a Jacobs, a Triple G, a Canelo. Again, like that's where you're trying to go towards.
Well, all right. Let's open up the phone lines.
We do have Demetrius Andrade entering the division as well. He's another guy where
on the HBO side of things,
where he can instantly get mixed up with these big names.
Yo, what if they throw him in there with Jacobs? Like, what if Jacobs get the Aries fight and the next fight is fucking Andre?
I think that's a very tough fight for Andre. Very tough fight. If I'm in his camp, I'm telling him not to take that.
Jacobs too. That's a southpaw.
Come on. If whoever he fought last, I forget his name.
Dropped him.
Not dropped him. He definitely hurt him. He had him on the stanky leg for a while. I think that with the Jacobs power, no, I think that's a very risky fight for Andrade after his next fight. I think maybe a couple more fights in the middleweight division makes sense.
I hear you. Let's see here. We're gonna go to the sponsors really quick, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Remember that number 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time if you want to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline. We're talking Canelo Alvarez, Saul Canelo Alvarez, that is, Mr. Cinnamon himself, and Gennady Triple G Golovkin have been ordered by the WBC for an immediate rematch. Now, the WBC has been meeting out in where exactly are they at? What is the name of this place you say?
Azerbaijan.
And that's where they're holding their convention this year. And the ruling came down. And it's going to be a lot more news, Matt. I mean, who's WBC at 140? Crawford will get some sort of mandatory. Everybody's going to get handed down some mandatories now.
Well, didn't Crawford already vacate the WBC?
I don't know. I thought he only vacated the IBF. For sure, I've read that. I didn't read any of the other titles being vacated. I did see a lot of Instagram posts saying he's moving up or insinuating moving up, but nothing official for sure that I know of.
Good point.
That'll be a show the day that he officially moves up. Crawford lands at the 147-pound division. The takeover or the breakdown? Totally not the breakdown. That sounded horrible. Anyway, sponsors, right? We got to do that.
Yes.
Also, let me see. Got a quick shout out here. Don't we got a shout out? Yes, we do. Where is he at? All we got to do is find it. Boom. And let me see. We got James. Shout out to my boy James Sims. Signed up to Patreon. Remember, you can do the same. Head on over to TheBoxingVoice.com. There's a Patreon button there to make it simple. If not, head on over to Patreon.com/TheBoxingVoice. We got tons of content. We actually got 2 new episodes of Overtime we just dropped. And definitely putting out a bunch of the Border Wars vlogs and plenty of Border Wars sparring for all those contestants. And remember, some of these contestants are people that you hear call into the show. So if you ever wanted to hear how some of these guys, well, actually, no, you heard how some of these guys talk. If you wanted to see, can they back it up? That footage is over on Patreon. Sponsors.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to Majid. We're giving everybody 1 minute on the phone call. Spontaneous show. We're going to keep this thing moving. Remember, we're talking the immediate rematch. WBC's at the convention, and he's rolled down the mandate that it's going to be an immediate rematch for Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. We're going out to Orlando, Florida. Majid, what's going on, my friend?
Shit, just chilling, man.
Talk to me.
The first thing I could think is, the first thing I could think is that Canelo don't even care about the WBC belt and what they got going on, you know what I'm saying? So why would he give a fuck about a mandate that they're going to try and do immediate when Canelo talk about he want to fight on Cinco de Mayo on a Mexican holiday, you know? So the way I see that, he just going to be like, all right, well, Golovkin, if you want to fuck up this money and you want to fight in between that fight, then you do what you got to do. But if you want to make this real money, wait until May 5th. Or vacate your belt or something, but Canelo ain't gonna get two shits about that belt. He don't fuck with them no more. But that's all I got.
Very, very true and good point, Matt. I mean, he already said he wasn't fighting for the WBC this time around, so he brings up a strong point there. Who gives a damn that they mandated an immediate rematch? Is that just to get Charlo off of Gennady Golovkin's back?
It could just be a move that all the sanctioning bodies are going to do, and the WBC is just the first to do it. Like, you don't think the WBO is going to want a piece of that check?
Or just to be associated, right? I mean,
or just to be associated, yeah.
You want to have your title wrapped around anybody in that ring on that night if 2 million people are watching, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't think this is a move to get Charlo away from Triple G. I think that may inadvertently be something that happened as a result of getting this instant rematch. But I don't think that's the reason why we get their immediate rematches to get Charlo away from Triple G. I don't think that.
All right, let me go out to Washington, D.C. We got Marcus in the building.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Voice? Great spontaneous show. Matt, I disagree a little bit. I think if you read the article, what Mauricio had said was that Triple G waited a very long time being in that number one position, and it wasn't forced on the champions at that time to take it within one fight. I think Charlo's only beaten Highland nowhere near the amount of time that Triple G had to wait through Sergio Martinez, Cotto, and Canelo. So the move is not about Canelo forcing Canelo, because we know that because his relationship with WBC, that's not going to make him move on that move. But what it does is that it keeps Triple G's integrity of maintaining the unified title intact from Charlo. I don't believe that Triple G's running from Charlo per se, but it keeps the fact that he wouldn't have to drop one of the belts for the Cinco de Mayo weekend fight should he and Canelo negotiate in that manner.
But Marcus, you're acting like the WBC strips champions if they don't fight their mandatory. I can't remember the last time that happens.
Say it again.
You're acting like the WBC strips champions if they do not fight their mandatory. I cannot remember the last time the WBC ever stripped their champion for not facing a mandatory.
Yeah, but we got to look at who's Charlo's representation in this situation, though. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, we just saw Bermain Stavern get up with Josh Dubin and Andre Ward and James Prince to solidify his request for his mandatory position and or secure large financial gain in part of it. And, you know, with Charlo's representation is no less audacious, so they also know this as well. And so, you know, for him not to be the mandatory, it doesn't give him a legal leg and or any leverage to facilitate a strong financial pull from Triple G and K2 versus what they did with Wilder and Bermain Stavern. So it clearly is, from a legal standpoint and or a positioning standpoint, clearly to get Charlo out of the way to not prohibitly stop a bigger and better fight between Canelo and or Triple G. Although WBC wouldn't inherit Canelo as a champion if he won, per se. I think any of the other sanctioning bodies both will be happy with the sanctioning fees paid by Triple G and or Canelo from the belts, which he would, which most likely will be the WBO, which and the IBF, which I think he would, I think he would inherit, because if, like the past fight, the IBF waived the 10-day weigh-in afterwards because he didn't care whether they had Triple G or Canelo as a champion. They knew they would have a good monetarily functional champion if either guy won. So, I mean, clearly I think the WBC did that for that. Not to say that Triple G's can't push is avoiding Jermall Charlo. I just think everyone understands that at this point in Gennady's career, it's big fights or bust. And and I think both of them will have like a swan song if that starts to happen. I mean, obviously Canelo would go on if he wins to take 2 fights a year and preserve his body as best he can at this point. But I think Triple G, part of his luster was that he fought every 3 to 4 months, and I wonder how being a 7-month in between this fight would affect him if he didn't take any other fight until May. So that's my call. Thanks for the spontaneous show, Boxing Voice. Y'all know how we do. Get it.
Good point, Marcus. I don't know if I believe it, or not necessarily believe it. Agree with it entirely, because yes, the meeting on Wednesday probably is to, like, remain the Stavern situation, to get that mandatory position to not really mean anything at this point. Again, I just don't think them wanting the instant rematch is the effect of the stimulus of trying to get Charlo away from Triple G. I just don't think of it that way.
Now, what if Wednesday they come out of there and they're like, Jermall Charlo versus so-and-so for the mandatory shot?
Well, technically, he already got the mandatory spot.
Yeah, but they've done multiple. I mean, I remember poor
I see what you're saying. Well, I don't think anyone really is going to care unless it's a bad name.
Yeah.
If it's anyone like Highland again, I don't think anyone's going to be that happy.
On that list, anyone there on that list? Can you check? And while we take another call, we're going to go out to what?
I mean, check the WBC ranking.
Yeah, check it out. And we'll go from Washington, D.C. all the way to Toronto, Canada. What's going on, T? Been a long time, my friend.
What's up? Man, I try to slide in where I fit in, man. Y'all got so many shows going on. Sometimes I just listen, but I'm still with y'all, man. Don't ever trip.
For sure.
But honestly, I think Triple G running out of time with his age and the amount of punishment he's been recently taking in these last couple fights. He's getting hit a lot more often. He is getting older, and he's fighting a tougher level of competition. And to me, I can kind of see him slowly breaking down. Wait until May, I think, is a tactical ploy for Canelo, because Triple G being active at an older age was going to keep him sharp. If he's got that long window in between fights, he's not going to be as good as a 20-something-year-old Canelo would be after that layoff. So, I mean, I think it's a tactical ploy by Canelo to wait till May. It's also the biggest money grab for him, being at Cinco de Mayo. So, I mean, Canelo might have to roll the dice and fight it in term. It doesn't have to be a Charlo or a Jacob, somebody that dangerous. But I mean, to get the dust off, I think it'd be smart for Canelo to get a fight and send Charlo over to Billy Saunders or whatever, man. Like, he ain't fighting nobody. So let him get tested by somebody that's a little bit better than the average and see what he got. That way, if he has a belt, Charlo has a belt, I mean, he can use that as a little bit of leverage to say, hey, I'm a champion too. Y'all always talking about unifying, let's do it. But I don't see Charlo getting a fight anytime soon himself. He's too much of a wild card for them. He hit too hard.
I wonder how much Billy Joe Saunders will sell that belt for. Could Al Heyman buy a title shot from Frank Warren for Jermall Charlo, or Jermall Charlo, excuse me?
I don't know.
Because, you know, for a while, and T, thanks again for calling in. For a while now, Billy Joe has just been waiting for that Canelo fight. But if you're Al Heyman, how much is that belt worth to you?
Potentially a lot.
So what do you offer? Do you offer Billy Joe $2 million guarantee?
Oh, easily.
Take that. Well, actually, he won't take that because he didn't want to take the 4 from Triple G, right?
Yeah, exactly. He wants at least 5 to 6. He wants that Andre Ward Kovalev money.
Yeah, but that's versus Triple G though.
Yeah, against Daniel Jacobs, it'll easily be.
Well, I wasn't thinking Jacobs. I'm thinking Jermall Charlo. Jacobs already has the Canelo. He's got the Canelo and the Triple G fights basically in the bag. All he has to do is wait, and they'll free up, and he gets someone. He's on that HBO side. That's what they brought him on for. Now, on the other hand, Jermall's on the other side of things. He needs to make some things happen.
Are you? Billy Joe Saunders isn't on any of those sides, so it doesn't really matter for Billy Joe Saunders. It's going to be about who offers him the most money.
That's my point. He's
And
not, he's not on either side, so he's basically a free agent. He's a belt for hire.
I don't know who offers him more money at this point, Charlo or Daniel Jacobs. But the WBC rankings, you wanted me to find them out. Number 1, Jermall Charlo. Number 2, Daniel Jacobs. Number 3 is Canelo Alvarez. Number 4, Sergey Derevchenko. Number 5, David Lemieux. I could keep going.
Oh, wow. What if they did that? What if Wednesday they mandate Jacobs, who already feels he deserves a rematch, and Charlo, who already feels he's the mandatory? Now, why? Their reasoning, they're going to say, well, Jacobs had a tight fight and he thought he won. So he didn't really lose his ranking status. And Jermall moved up and he got a fight over Highland. That doesn't really earn you a shot at Triple G. That would be really good. Mauricio, I know you're listening. You better credit me on this one, man. I want some credit. What do you think, man? You like my plan? No?
I love it. Do I think it happens?
Why not? Why not? Right? I mean, and don't take that like, I mean, it can't, right? I mean that it will. I mean it like this, right? Like now, Daniel Jacobs being already on HBO. It's already well known that he's an HBO fighter, Eddie Hearn, but still an Al Heyman guy. So why can't you send Jermall over there? Send him. Not in the contract. Just he's going to fight.
No, you definitely can. As far as I know, Jermall Charlo does not have a Showtime or any sort of network deal, exclusive network deal. So he definitely could go over there. However, I do know that Daniel Jacobs has been trying to get the Luis Arias fight. That is not official yet, but that has been in negotiations. To me, it seems that Daniel Jacobs does want a semi-tune-up in some sense. He wants a softer touch than a top 5 guy in his next fight. So I don't think we get Charlo. Now, I think a Charlo-Derevchenko fight.
No, Matt. It's over your head. Tuesday, we find out who Jacobs get. But Wednesday,
we find out who Charlo gets.
No, Tuesday, we find out who Jacobs get at the New York press conference when he and Eddie Hearn invade New York City with Matchroom Las Vegas, okay? Then Wednesday, we find out what happens with Charlo. What I'm saying is Tuesday, they'll announce Aries. Wednesday, Mauricio can announce a mandatory between Jacobs and Charlo, which gives Charlo that time that he needs to give Gennady, right? Because now he's got to wait for Jacobs to have a fight with Luis Arias, win, and get time off, then go through camp again, negotiate, and then go through camp again, rather. So that's a perfect solution. And like I said, both guys they have stakes to the claim or claim.
Just so I understand you're saying that Daniel Jacobs can get both the Luis Arias fight in this fall / winter, and then fight Jermall Charlo next year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because if he fights Jermall Charlo,
I definitely see that. I can see that.
If he fights Jermall Charlo in an eliminator, title eliminator, right? Sometime in maybe March, maybe April, right? Or maybe they get freaky. Golden Boy, everybody, I mean, now this is me wishful thinking, everybody gets all in a kumbaya circle, we all pass a J around, and they put Charlo and Daniel Jacobs on the undercard of Triple G. And
it's not happening.
I know. I'm just,
you know why? You know why?
There's too much money to be made, and those guys are a main event on their own.
No. It's not that. It's definitely there's too many hands in the cookie jar. There is K2, Golden Boy, Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn. Yeah, you have so many people trying to get money in that event that I mean, a co-promotional fight between Golden Boy and K2 has been hard enough for the last 3 years to make. So I don't want to risk it with adding 2 more, figures on top of it.
No, I totally agree. Let's get back to some callers because we're over here going down
rabbit holes.
Yeah. Larry, San Francisco.
Hey, big ups to the Boxing Voice. A couple things. First of all, LOL at the WBC thinking they call any shots in the Canelo Triple G rematch. The Canelo Triple G rematch is going to happen regardless. The only way it won't is if Canelo can pull another hocus pocus matchup out of his backside, like what he did with Conor or Chavez. If he can't get easy money like that, then it's Triple G for sure. That fight did 1.3 million buys, which in modern day boxing is a huge number. And the rematch will do more with no Mayweather-McGregor in its way. So that fight absolutely is happening next, and the WBC has no factor in that. Secondly, LOL at Jermall Charlo thinking all he's got to do is move up and fight Sebastian Highland, and all of a sudden he's the guy who gets the automatic spot and he gets the call shot. He will not get a shot at that title for at least 12 to 18 months, and nor should he. Triple G had other titles and was the interim WBC champion and had to wait longer than that. So I was Charlo coming in with no belts, with no pay-per-view pool, with nothing, and thinking he's going to get a shot. Not going to happen. Go fight Daniel Jacobs. Go fight David Lemieux. Go do something, earn that shot, and then come talking that mess. Otherwise, appreciate the show as always. I'm out.
Hey, man, you see, that's why I love this show. I love these listeners, bro, and these callers because
we got Ringer, by the way.
He added another element to our negotiation. Let me bring myself in here.
Come on, camera on, Ness.
We are. We forgot the long lost interim belt. That's beautiful. Now you really got a Daniel Jacobs and Jermall Charlo for the interim title because he's right. Gennady had Yo, scratch your nose all you want over there, hipster boy, but this is the way it goes. He win his interim belt versus Rubio or something like that. Gennady did. So, yeah, I mean, these other guys got to go down that same route. They got to go up them stairs, bro. It's levels to this, and they need to get to that interim belt level. Get that silver belt around your waist, and then you got a little more stake to the claim, right? Is that how he said? Stake to the claim? Right.
Here's my thinking. We have, just to name the top players in the middleweight division, we have Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, David Lemieux, Daniel Jacobs, and Jermall Charlo. Those guys are the top players in the middleweight division, right? We have Triple G, Canelo, most likely in Cinco de Mayo. I think most of us are assuming that happens. So that's off the table. We have most likely Daniel Jacobs versus Luis Aries next. So Daniel Jacobs is off the table. Billy Joe Saunders is up in the air. David Lemieux is up in the air. And Jermall Charlo is up in the air. Jermall Charlo can easily fight Billy Joe Saunders or easily fight David Lemieux in the next 6 months and make himself a title contender for the next half of 2018 to fight the winner of Triple G Canelo. He can easily do that. Let's say he fights Billy Joe Saunders in the next 6 months and then fights Daniel Jacobs in the last half of 2018. I think that easily makes him a contender to Triple G and Canelo. And yes, they may add an interim belt on it, but I don't think that is the way to get it. The way to get it is to fight those top guys in that division.
All right. Let me get to some other callers here. We're going to go out to a ringer. Who's the ringer?
Oh, your favorite, Georgie Porgy.
Oh,
he just dropped.
Well,
that is sad.
Let's go out to one of my
other
favorites. My true favorites. When we speak of favorites, we speak of
don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
The WBC. Really? How do you mandate a fight that wasn't for your title in the first place? I mean, this is a joke. This is, and yes, the WBC does strip fighters of their title. They stripped Sergio Martinez and handed the title over to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Okay, so yes, the WBC is in the business of stripping titles. Okay, yes, they do. Don't get it twisted.
They haven't stripped Adonis Stevenson.
Okay, so listen, Adonis Stevenson, nobody wants to fight Adonis Stevenson. Okay, really, nobody. His mandatories, look, they're happy to take whatever crumbs that he throws their way. Okay, Adonis Stevenson is in Canada on Canadian pay-per-view, making good money. Okay, now look, when it was your boy's turn to enforce his mandatory, what did he do? Kovalev, he cut and ran. Okay, so listen, when the money isn't coming in, or when the WBC sees an opportunity to make more money from someone else, they are in the business of stripping titles. So don't get it twisted. Okay, this WBC is a joke. Okay, and look, there's not going to be an immediate rematch, and this whole deal with ordering an immediate rematch, that's just so that they can protect Golovkin from Charlo, because they don't want. Look, they want to make sure Golovkin takes a nice, easy fight, maybe fight his IBF mandatory, fight his WBA mandatory, fight whatever mandatory, do what you got to do, but just make sure that we cash in that Canelo Alvarez paycheck come September, because there's not going to be an immediate rematch, people. Okay? No, not going to happen.
You sound crazy.
Reasons. Okay? No, listen, I didn't say there was not going to be a rematch. I said there's not going to be an immediate rematch. No. And here's the reason why. Money.
It's still immediate fight, doctor. Listen, it's still an immediate rematch if Triple G doesn't fight anybody and the fight takes place in Cinco de Mayo. It's still immediate because it's the very next fight. They didn't go anywhere but each other. You understand that, right?
Listen, look, there's going to be a rematch. Yes, I understand there's going to be a rematch, but it's not going to happen in May. It's not going to happen in May. It's going to happen next September. Okay? This fight's going to get sat on for another year.
I've been telling myself that there's a possibility the winner of Rosado and Tapia could slide in May. Especially if it's Rosado on the Puerto Rican versus Mexico thing.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, Alvarez owns May and the September dates. Those are his. Unless Mayweather decides to come out of retirement and fight somebody of consequence, those are Alvarez's dates, okay? And I just honestly don't believe that this rematch is going to happen in May. It's just not going to happen. Not in May, okay? It needs time to simmer.
Well,
I don't think
listen, fight doc, spontaneous
really
baby.
wants this fight.
What? What you mean everybody in the universe don't really want this fight? What you mean?
No, sir.
Come on, man. How many times you gonna hit him with the same soundbite, man?
Does not want this fight to happen in May. They want it to happen in September because it needs time to cook. Okay? Just like with Mayweather Pacquiao. They let that fight cook for 5 years and look what happened. Okay? So now they're looking at 1 million pay-per-views this time. It's not gonna do 1 million pay-per-views in May. It does 750. Why? Because nobody really cares.
I don't know.
Hardcore.
I don't know. Okay? I don't know.
Give it a year.
We got to let these calls go, fight doctor. But I don't know, Matt. I don't know. I think that, 7 months. We're talking about 7 months. That's enough simmering, bro. Cinco de Mayo is 7 months away, fight doctor. You gotta think about that. They can simmer. They can build. They can start doing the press tours. They can start getting on ESPN. They can do a lot in between these 7 months before the actual, 8-week buildup.
What happened the first fight that needed a rematch to be simmered? Need to marinate. What happened in the first fight that made that need to happen? It was a close, controversial decision that ended in a draw. The draw is the perfect reason for an immediate rematch.
Exactly. That's the simmering that it needs right there.
And we got a ringer, by the way. Georgie Porgy.
We got to go to other.
I won't deny it.
Dawdy Beyonce production.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick speed. What do we have here now?
Boxingscene.com.
Dawdy Beyonce production.
What's up, Matt? What's up, Ness?
What up? What up? What up?
Hey, man. The WBC mandating this rematch, man, it's good news. I don't even know why anybody would be upset and mad at the WBC saying that they don't have the power there. I mean, WBC is one of the most cherished belts of any division. And for them to mandate this rematch, it's supposed to be. It's like makes the world right. Like everybody, this rematch should happen. It was a great fight the first time. They gave us a great fight. I mean, not to mention the ending, of course, but it was a great fight. We need to see it again. We need a. I mean, I think we had a definitive winner the first time, but some people weren't convinced. So let's do it again. And I didn't see no age or breakdown with Triple G. I think it's going to be the same result. May's perfect. Like you said, 7 months. I mean, you got time for promotion. They could do the world tour. They could, and then the camp. Perfect time, man. And so I'm happy. I see no negative in this.
Well, we'll see what it does bring, man. Alex, thanks for calling in as always. IG Master. Let's get out to
hold on. I just want to address something that he said. I don't think anyone's really mad at the WBC. I think everyone just thinks it's a joke. Like it's more of like a like haha, like you think you have power here, because they don't. Alex, yes, in some people's mind, not everyone's, in some people's mind, the WBC is the most cherished belt in boxing, even though it's not the oldest one out of the 4 major sanctioning bodies. But when you're the star, when you're Canelo, when you're Mayweather, when you're Pacquiao, when you're Joshua, you control the sanctioning bodies. You run the sanctioning bodies. That's how it's always been. That's how it always will be. So when Canelo says, I don't fuck with you to the WBC, and the WBC belt wasn't on the line for Canelo, how can they force him to make a rematch? They can't. WBC can't force anything.
I'm telling you, this is for Charlo. They're saying immediate rematch so that Charlo already knows I'm not getting the fight.
Yeah, I understand like that side of it. If that's the main cause of them wanting the rematch, sure, you can have that opinion, and others can have that.
I mean, it's also obviously for Triple G, but
yeah, I'm not. By the way, I'm not denying that is happening. I'm just saying I don't know if that's the main reason why we get this mandated rematch.
All right, well, let's get out to Boston.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay showtime to see you all there not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see some motherfucker just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate. WBC, fuck you. Listen, bro. Let me put this shit in low energy mode. Let me take a knee for humanity, doggy. Fucking bullshit. Number one, Matt, you're absolutely right. WBC ain't got no power. This sharing, this belt bullshit, this mentality. What type of mentality are you talking about? You're talking about we back in the fucking 60s or something. These people work on evidence against them. It's overwhelmingly. What the fuck? Goddamn WBC mafia. Yo, Matty, one thing that I don't want you to talk. I don't want to hear no Martin Murray. I don't want to hear no Willie Monroe. Why Willie Monroe don't fight Mary for the who don't give a fuck of the world? We can be pushing these people out there, throwing those names that nobody want to see. Jesus Christ. Anyways, everybody out there, support, donate, and let's start
Georgie.
What, nigga? What?
What do you mean you don't want to see those names? Versus each other or versus anybody?
Versus anybody. We can be wasting time with these people.
Nah, you bugging.
The other day we saw Campbell's. What do you mean we bugging?
You bugging.
Murray's washed up. Willie Monroe here with a duster. These niggas, nobody want to see them. Ask in the shower, want to see these people on TV. That's time and money they can invest in somebody If we really want to see, bro.
Bro,
You guys
people
too
like
many fucking names.
Carras and Mauricio Herrera still get fights, bro. Like boxing. First of all, in one sentence, the fight fan wants to say, "Oh, boxing needs to be more like UFC." Then you got, guys like this guy that calls in and losses mean something. Like, dude, Willie Monroe and Martin Murray still could be tests for up and coming 168 pounders and 160 pounders, bro. There's like a guy like Centennial. We don't know if he could fucking beat Willie Monroe. Do you know? No, you fucking don't, because all you do is fucking complain all day. Get your ass out of here. 646, you're up.
First time caller.
Hello? Yes, hello. My name is Gary.
Gary, where you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City. Bronx, New York City.
All right, Gary from the BX. What's on your mind? Talk to us.
What's going on? To be honest with you, man, I really kind of think that they should give Charlo a shot, because I'll be honest with you, that fight that just went on in September, I wasn't really impressed. If anything, the Jacobs Triple G fight was much more entertaining than this fight. If you look at it, Canelo ran half of that fight. He kept running to the ropes and kept taking a beating. When somebody like Charlo would give Triple G a nice rough dog fight. But I think at the end of the day, it's either they're looking at it for a money standpoint, but at the end of the day, to be honest with you, I really feel that Golovkin should give Charlo a shot, because that's not fair to all the other fighters that's in line for them belts. You got all those belts and you're making people wait close to a year, 2 years to get a shot at one of them belts. That's not fair. It's not Charlo's fault that Highland came in that condition. He did his job. And that man earned his job from the way up. And when he was even at 154, he was going in there stopping dudes. You know what I mean? I really fairly think that he would give Triple G the fight that everybody would want. I think he would probably give him more entertaining than Jacobs. Because at one time, Jacobs even bitched up a little bit in the beginning of the fight. It took him in the later rounds to fight back.
Right about that, Gary. Can't complain, man. Listen, great call. Thanks for calling in. We're going to go out to Gabe in Salt Lake City. Talk to us.
Yo, what's going on, TVV? But, I'm going to have to agree with everybody already on the WBC and Canelo, saying that they really have no power over Canelo, but they do have power over the belt. So I want to ask you guys this question. I know they won't, but let's just, hypothetical speaking, let's say the WBC says, you know what, Triple G, we're going to make you mandate and fight Charlo or Jacobs or whoever. Could they do that and strip Triple G, or does Triple G kind of get the choice if he wants a rematch or not? And then I have something else if you guys can answer that question.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen them say do an immediate rematch and a mandatory.
No. You're probably not understanding the question. I'm saying, do they have the right to say, like, let's say they didn't mandate the rematch, and they said, we're going to make you do a mandatory. Would it be Triple G's choice?
Yeah, no. He would have to. Yeah, he has the choice to do his mandatory or vacate that title and fight with Canelo. If Canelo's like, now I'm ready to fight now.
If they do that.
Okay. They wouldn't do that, but I'm just, I just started thinking of all that bullshit because, sometimes people can just go on a power trip, but they did just mandate that fight, but whatever. But the other thing, you guys keep saying about Jacobs and Charlo fighting, didn't HBO just sign Jacobs and they just signed Bubo Andrade?
Yes.
Right? Isn't Andrade fighting at 160?
Yes.
Now?
Yes.
I could totally see their next matches, them putting them two together, and then whoever wins gets the Triple G Canelo winner after May, probably in September.
Not whoever. I'm sure they're banking on Jacobs, but we did speak of that earlier. Gary, we're going to get to some other callers. I mean, Gabe, because it is 1 minute spontaneous show. Talk to us.
Listen, I think I'm one of
I'm one of the only cats that don't really want to see Charlo and Jacobs right away, man. I think I'd rather see Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders if that fight is possible, especially with him being with HBO now. You know, to let him take that light fight against Arias, let him do Saunders, and then you have Charlo. Because I think you know the middleweight division ain't as stacked as it. I mean, with Charlo moving up, Andre, I don't think is going to make a splash. I mean, yeah, you want to see fights, you know, happen right away. But I don't know. Maybe I got a little error in me because I'd rather see Charlo versus Lemieux. I like to see Charlo versus Lemieux, and then Jacobs versus Saunders, and then, you know, if you want to do the winner of Jacobs and Saunders versus the winner of Lemieux Charlo, and then from there the winner get Canelo Triple G. I know that doesn't work in Triple G's favor, but in terms of just breathing a little bit more life into the middleweight division and seeing some high quality fight, I think that's a better layout. That's my call.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. Always on point. I had my finger on the cut, and I'm like, damn, I don't want to cut. And right on point. He was like, that's my call. Ishmael in Sacktown, talk to me.
CBB, what's happening? What's happening?
What up? What up? What up?
Hey, look, man. The simplest solution is for Al Heyman to take two of his guys that hold mandatory positions at 160. Put Derevchenko and Charlo in the ring together, and the winner of that fight is going to be mandated by the IBF and the WBC, enhancing their chances of getting that title fight and making it come quicker. On the Jacobs front,
horrible plan. Horrible plan. If you're a promoter, why do you take two of your mandatory future possible champions and pit them against each other and give yourself one? As a promoter, that's not doing good business.
I'm gonna add those two. If I got them both waiting, who's to tell when it's gonna happen? When the fight is gonna happen? If Canelo wins, he might not honor the WBC mandatory.
Earl Spence waited.
You still got Derevchenko over there waiting, huh?
Earl Spence waited,
but he already been waiting though. Charlo fought in July, so Canelo and Triple G not gonna fight until May, and then they gonna fight again like 4 or 5 months later. So you got all that time. What's another good fight for him in the meantime? You need to have a fight while they fighting, and then he just waiting. I don't know about that one, bro. But the downside to Jacobs,
I don't want him to wait. I don't want him to wait. I don't think that it's smart to put two mandatory challengers against each other. As a promoter, it's a business.
Otherwise, they gonna wait anyway. They put Danny Garcia and Thurman in the ring together.
Dude,
one of them had to come out as the loser.
That was a unification,
but it was
man.
A unification match. I see it.
Come on, man.
I understand, but what I'm saying is these dudes. Charlo had one fight. I mean, one fight since last December. So you saying wait again all the way until next May?
Dude, you got to do what you got to do. He's in position. He could have a showcase. They could get him. They could get him another like a Terriano Johnson. He got it. He could beat up a Curtis Stevens. He could beat a common Triple G opponent.
Derevchenko just beat Toriano though. So now Toriano gets a shot at a mandatory spot.
Don't you get it? It's not a smart business move. Don't you get it? That's what I'm saying. So why you keep saying Derevchenko, but it doesn't make financial sense to take two potential champions and put them together and give your business one now. You don't get that?
But I don't get waiting for a year and a half either though.
Jesus, I gave you 3 minutes on that one conversation. You still didn't get it. All right, Ishmael, I get you, bro. I mean, I don't get you, and you don't get me. Matt, do you get what's going on over here? It's a lot of getting.
I understand it. I think that this fight makes sense because it clears up the title picture, and I understand why he wants that. However, on your end, you're saying if I'm the promoter, Derevchenko is automatically guaranteed a title shot because the IBF ruling. So is Charlo. So why am I going to take both either one of those guys title shot away from him when I'm promoting both of them. Why not wait for one of them to get a title shot, and then you can wait for the other one to get a title shot? Because if you're the mandatory right now, all you need to do is keep fighting, and you're in that spot. You just keep finding names, and because you're already the mandatory, you're on that status. Imagine yourself as like an interim champion. That's what that mandatory status basically means. So I get
Agreed.
it.
Well, it's wrap it up time.
Yes, it is.
Got vibe out to that beat. Did 2 a days today. That's right. Glenn Tapia looking good, man. Glenn Tapia looking good. And so is Zilly Zang Bang. And it's looking like he's heading over to Deontay Wilder's for sparring. 7-foot southpaw. And I'm gonna be there. Matty Boy's gonna be there. And Enrique Church might fly in one day. That's how he does. He's probably gonna come in a chopper or something.
He always does that. Always for one day.
In the chopper. Yo, anybody in Alabama hit me up, because I swear, shout out to my man Johnny in Alabama. He don't even live there no more. But that I mean, I've never had nothing that good. Is Alabama legal or something? They had some fire.
No. It's Alabama. Come on.
Yo, they had some fire out there, bro. It was like holy moly.
Yeah, I don't think anywhere in the South has legal.
Shout out to Toyota. Shout out to Toyota. Yeah, we're sponsored by Toyota.
So Ness, help me out here. So we're gonna drive down from New York.
Yo, we'll talk about that off air.
Okay.
We'll talk about that off air. But shout out to Toyota, sponsored us for the 7-day week as we chillax and cover the heavyweight champion of the world. One part of it, WBC champ. So yeah, man, shout out to Toyota for sponsoring. I think they gave us a Tacoma or something like that. Let me see what they gave us, man. This is final thoughts time. It's just my thoughts, man. Who says that, man? You don't know nothing about Jay-Z, man. Such a faker.
Yo, that's because Nas, wrecked him. So why would I listen to
my God. This guy said Nas.
Yo, Nas bodied him. I mean,
body. Your face sounds like
common knowledge.
Boom. So we got a Toyota Tacoma. Let me see what that looks like. I didn't even check it out. 2017 Jammy Jam. Know what I'm saying? Let's see what it looked like. Shout out. Hit that thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. Helps with the visibility of the show. Make sure that Toyota sees us and helps us grow. And then, we take that Toyota and it gets us in front of it's like the one we had in Florida, right? Was that a Tacoma? No, that was a Tundra. That was
I forget what that was, but it's like that, yeah.
No, that was a Tundra.
This was bigger.
This is a Tacoma.
Tacomas are usually smaller.
This is a 4.7 out of 5, okay? Motor Trend, all right? MSRP is about $24,000. It's a pickup truck. Oh, is it single cab? Oh, that's ass. No. It is a single cab.
Wait. So there's only like one row of seats in that cab?
What in the world? Well, they got some double cabs. I don't know. Maybe we get lucky. Yeah, they got some doubles. Let me see, though. Why is it coming up? Oh, that's so corny if it comes up single and double, though. I mean, I asked for a car for 3 of us, so they definitely ain't going to give us no single cab. Let's see here. Yeah, so final thoughts anyway. WBC. Pretty much on par with all my listeners and callers, bro. You guys know better than us. Don't mean shit. Canelo ain't fighting for no WBC. And if he decides to take it, WBC won't be charging him no sanctioning fee or putting no pressure or stepping on his neck. None of that won't be happening. So, but it is good news, right? It kind of gives us something to talk about. Gives, Jermall Charlo something to do now.
Jermall.
Yes, that's right. Jermall Charlo something to do. And it gets the wheels moving. So I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Don't forget to follow my vlog on patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice if you're into health and fitness. Remember, I was Big Ness at 278. Now I'm slim, fit, and in shape Ness at 216, looking mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Sparring pros is all I'm saying.
In my final thoughts, like I said, I pretty much agree with everyone. I agree that the WBC has no effect, and we're probably going to get the rematch, though, regardless of that in effect by the WBC. I think the dollar signs will mean more than any sanctioning body's ruling. That this fight generates money, and it generates a lot of money, so why not do it again? And I think it was either Larry or somebody said this fight is going to have natural build up to the rematch. I think you even talked about Ness that you put these guys on SportsCenter, you put these guys through the gambit of media in the next 7 months. This fight will be massive. This will do 2 million plus pay-per-view buys. I guarantee it on the rematch. I guarantee it. So I think that will make the rematch happen more than the WBC saying anything. And salute to Jermall Charlo, always being just a great up and coming star. I don't think he's a star yet, but a guy at the top. Where yes, he may not get the fight with Triple G or the WBC champion now, but I think a lot of us think he's going to get there, and a lot of us think he has potential to be that guy at that division. So can't wait to see what he does in the next part of his career. I'm Matt Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Peace.
Peace out.